What a crazy day. All right, so we already shot 2 features today, but we're gonna shoot a 3rd feature. Actually, we just finished shooting a 3rd feature. That is a very beautiful old school Toyota Corolla. Lewis is totally in the way, taking video. And yeah, we just got done driving a little bit in the canyons. But I'm Larry Chen. Welcome to another episode of Hoonigan Autofocus. My buddy Mike is part of Team Wildcards. I'm so lucky that I got inducted to be a part of that pretty much legendary old school JDM team. The crazy thing is, this is the 3rd car that we've featured of yours, Toyota Corolla.
Yeah.
Old school, but this is unlike the other ones, right? So the first one we featured is a rally car.
Yes.
True FIA certified rally car that you can actually compete in events like Rally Monte Carlo, right?
Yeah.
Or the classic.
Classic version of the Monte Carlo.
And then the second one that we featured is pretty much the cleanest Toyota Corolla 1972 Sprinter in the world, 0-mile restoration. You guys have to check that video out. That thing blew my mind. I actually got emotional seeing that thing. You know, it's so cool to see something like that existing in the world. Yeah. This one is kind of your tuner car, huh?
Yeah, this is my restomod. This is the one that I never have to worry that it's gonna break down, not gonna overheat. We drive this to Las Vegas, San Diego, no issues. Yeah, it's just a very reliable car, the way Toyota intended it to be.
Yeah, because you drive it. I mean, like, we obviously just did a drive in the canyons, and also you take it to local meets.
Yeah.
You take it...
Take a track day.
Yeah, track day.
Up here in the canyons.
That's the thing, right? So you have a vehicle, a Toyota Corolla, for every single situation. It seems like one for all show, one for off-road, and one for on-road usage. Maybe this will do some off-road usage too. But it's really good looking. I absolutely love them in orange. So tell me, what year is this?
So this is a 1973 Toyota Corolla Levin.
And the Levin is pretty much like the lower version versus the Sprinter, correct?
Correct. It's the lower version of the Sprinter Trueno.
How long have you had this project?
I bought this the same time as the rally car, so 1988. It sat on the side for a while because I could not register it. Back in the day, you couldn't just bring a Japanese car and register it. You had to be military to register it. So as that got looser, I was able to register it, and then that's when I started restoring it.
And so let's pop the hood. Let's check out the motor on this thing. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so these are locks. Is this like a stock Toyota thing?
No, it's not. This is actually aftermarket. It's you can buy this. I'm not sure where. I bought this a long time ago. I bought this in the 90s. So it secures your hood, so you can go out for donuts or coffee.
Right.
And not worry about
somebody taking your motor.
Yeah.
All right, so tell me about the motor.
So this is the motor that came with this car. It's a stock 2TG. I've done cams on it before, but took it off because I like the way that it's stock, and I have good gas mileage and it's reliable. So everything you see here is pretty much stock, except for I took the airbox out and I put the velocity stacks. Just sounds better. I put TRD headers and a bigger radiator to be able to keep up with traffic here in LA.
And you upgraded the suspension also?
Yeah, suspension is fully upgraded. So all the suspension pieces are T3 suspension pieces, adjustable coilovers in front, different springs in the back. They're TRD springs in the back. And then I'm using Datsun brake master cylinder just to clean it up, because the original one, the master cylinder actually extends up to here, and it was just dirty, so I want to make sure that it looks cleaner. So yeah, there you go.
This is such a clean engine bay. Like, it's so minimalistic. I mean, what was here before? Just nothing?
That was where the airbox was. So the airbox extended up to here, the air filter was here, the battery was here. So that's been relocated to the back. I didn't want to do a full wire tuck because to me that's for newer cars. So I did a sympathetic wire tuck. So they're all on this side right here. They're just covered. But yeah, so that I could still get to it if I need to diagnose something. You know, a lot of wire tucks are hidden underneath the fender, and if something shorts out or you need to diagnose something, you gotta take so many things apart. And since I do drive this, I wanna make sure I'll be able to get to the wiring easy.
I also love the headlights, by the way. The SCV.
Yeah, those headlights are pretty sought out. I heard that in Japan, the guys that have the old school motorcycles that have the 7-inch headlights are actually paying up to $900 for one of these headlights. So it's pretty crazy. I bought this headlight set a while ago, so it didn't cost that much.
I love your plate also. So I asked JT this. I actually had a chance to feature his orange mango also somewhat recently. And I'm like, hey, so why is it called a mango? Is it because it looks like a mango?
Yes. So if you look at a traditional, the full-size mango, it has that shape. And that shape is actually the rear section of this car. And then they have the other version, which is a shorter version of this with a shorter trunk. That's called a peanut because it's shaped like a peanut.
Interesting. Wait, so is that a legitimate, like Toyota, they actually call it that?
No, I think it started in Asia. I thought it was only in the Philippines. But then I started talking to my friends that are in Puerto Rico. They seem to call it the same thing. And in Mexico, the same thing. So I guess it just became universal.
All right. Tell me about these wheels and tires here.
So these are TRD Tosco wheels. They're very sought out in the tuner community for old school, but there's also a lot of counterfeits of these. I made a video to kind of educate people so that they don't get the counterfeit. I mean, look-wise, it looks the same, but they're dangerous. They crack because they are poor quality. So yeah, it's cool that you have one, but make sure it's real so it won't kill you.
So like, what's one of the factors in terms of like just the size of certain thing?
Yeah, so the center bore on this is supposed to be 60.1 millimeters. So inside where your spindle goes into, it should be 60.1. The counterfeits seem to go to 66, 67. And the reason why they did that is so that it would apply to more vehicles, so they can sell it to more people. But it was intentionally made for 60.1. So I'm talking TE27, the early Corollas, the Celicas, and up to the AE86. The AE86 also has a 60.1. If you have one that has a bigger bore, then most likely it's not real. And then also the lug nuts, they have a shank to them, so they're secured and more centered correctly instead of having a cone shape, which is what a lot of the counterfeits have. There was one year where it was a 13x9 that did have the cone shape, but that was very rare. There was only a few of those ever made.
And that's why they call you the Corolla guy, because you know all the little things about these Corollas. Tell me about the tires.
So the tires, I can no longer get these. These tires are just like harder to get. This size in particular, you can still get 185. The one in the rear, which are 215s, which gives it the correct stance for a 13x9, you can no longer get this. So a lot of people use the 185s and stretch it out, and then it looks weird because now the rear tire looks smaller since you've stretched out the sidewalls. And then a 205 is too tall, and even after you stretch it out, it still doesn't look right. So I don't know, it's going to be hard once these tires are worn out, but I'm sure I'll find somebody in Japan that will sell a set for me.
215, 50, 13. Yeah, that's too bad. So, and tell me about these over fenders. These can't be stock.
So these are stock. So the Levin and the Trueno Sprinters came with stock over fenders. Where this mats to the fender, there should be a lip coming from this metal to meet this. But this one doesn't have a lip because this is already the US fender.
Oh. It's just so many of these little things that only you would know. I don't even know. I couldn't even tell, you know, looking at it, but I guess that's kind of the thing. That's why you're the Corolla guy.
Yeah, this one had a really weird history. So when I got this car and I restored it, I didn't think anything of it. You know, I was happy to drive a JDM Corolla. And then once I started buying more cars from Japan, I realized that something just didn't jive. I noticed that the wiper blades on this one laid on one side and the Japanese model laid on the other side. So I started investigating it more. I found out that this vehicle, back in 1973, a Japanese businessman came to the US. He did his business and then he bought a US version Corolla and imported it into Japan. Once he got to Japan, he realized that he could not register the vehicle. The vehicle kind of sat for a while until he found a way for them to convert it to right-hand drive and be okay for the streets in Japan.
Wait, so this is actually a US vehicle originally?
Yes, that went to Japan, converted to right-hand drive in Japan, and had come back to the US, me not knowing that it was a US car to begin with.
Huh. So in essence, it's kind of special in a way, but would you have rather had one that was just originally right-hand drive?
Not anymore. I feel like this thing came back home. It went full circle. It started here. It was purchased in Colorado, I believe, and then it went to Kobe, Japan, and then it came back to the United States, and it's in California now.
Interesting. Okay. So just looking at here, actually, I was following you in the canyons, and you know, seeing these as your additional brake lights. Is that like a thing Corolla guys do?
It's a Philippine old school tuner thing. These were never meant to be on Toyotas. They're actually a German company. They're meant to be on 2002 BMWs. In the Philippines during the 80s, this was the thing to do. So anybody that's an old school Toyota guy that's here in the States that was growing up in the Philippines in the 80s, they do this. Or the additional light that they put back
Yeah, just the reverse fog light,
Yes.
right? But this actually is pretty cool. I mean, like when I see you brake, I could see the red lights just glowing through the back window, and I think it looks pretty cool. Yeah. And I love the period correct sound system too.
Yes, yeah. So I really try to, my whole thing is attention to detail. It really bothers me when something is not correct. That's why, like when I told you about the story about this car, something bothered me, I researched it, and then now I know. So yeah, the sound system is a new old stock 8-track player that plays through the Pioneer TS X9s, but I don't want to just listen to 8-track. So I put a Bluetooth module in the 8-track player so I can also listen from my phone's music through that into the speakers.
Through the 8-track?
Through the 8-track into the speakers.
Okay, can we take a look at that? Oh
Yeah.
my God, I want to see this. Oh, this is so cool. I love that it's right-hand drive. Wait, so you're telling me the 8-track still works in this thing?
Yeah, so the 8-track still works. Let me see. Let's pick a song.
Wait. Amazing.
Yeah, you can switch. You can choose songs.
Wait, and then you just flip it for the other?
No, it's only one side, and all the songs are on this side, and you just switch. Yeah, it just skips. And as you can see, the quality of 8-track doesn't really sound so well. Yeah.
So that's why you have like a hidden Bluetooth.
Yeah, so the Bluetooth module's in here, but the thing is, it's not on this phone, but I can play, it's on my wife's phone, so I can play her iPhone through here and through those speakers. Yeah.
That is so funny. That
And
is so
you can
cool
switch
that it
to
works.
different ones. So this is Elvis.
It's these like little accessories that really make it like. Huh. So that's the thing is like tape sounds so much better. Cassette tapes.
Oh yeah.
So much better than 8-track.
This one had the worst quality out of anything.
It's funny because I've never actually heard any music from 8-track. That's hilarious.
Yep. And it's funny, in car shows, you'll have parents bringing their kids and telling them, that's an 8-track player. I used to have that in my truck or my van or my car. And they're just blown away. Like, why is it so big? You know, does it have more memory than a USB card? Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so cool. The interior is kind of like really where a lot of your builds shine. Like I noticed special things like, I know that's got to be special.
Yeah, so this is an old school Toyota fan, mechanical fan. Yeah, so it's made by Toyota. It was an aftermarket accessory. So I was able to track this down in Japan. Yeah, it's just part of it. It's just all attention to detail. I mean, even the coins that I have are yen, Japanese yen.
Were these the ones that came with the car?
Yeah, so I found this as I was restoring the car. I found this underneath the carpeting. So one of them was actually a commemorative yen, which is weird.
You know, it's kind of interesting. Some of the other wildcard guys, like Jay in his DR30, same thing. He imported his car and then he found some coins in the coin tray, and they're there to this day, still there. Yeah. And everyone loves making fun of me for bringing my cars into this, but my R32 GTR, same thing. The ETC card was hidden in the sun visor actually, and I had a bunch of 10 yen coins that I'm actually saving because it's just kind of cool just to leave it there. You know, it actually came with the car. Wow, this thing is so clean. I love it. Like, so all of it, is this all original, or is this how you
No,
got it?
so I've redone this. The Japanese model never came with laminated wood, because I love the 2000 GT so much that I actually made this. I cut this all myself. I did all the silver trim. Yeah, all this is made by me.
This is great.
Yeah, so this one I had water jetted. All of this is me. It's just my taste. It's not. This car is not supposed to be 100% correct. It's not a museum car like the green car.
Yeah.
So this one has the things that I like. It might not be something that other people like, but this is like things that I like.
Right. That's the thing is, you do have a different Corolla for pretty much whatever duty.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, really cool. Tell me about the seats and tell me about the upholstery here.
Yeah, so the seat covers are made by a guy in New Zealand. His name is Grant. I originally hit him up to make me covers, but he said he needed a pattern. So the green car that you saw, I actually took photos of that vehicle and then did measurements on all the spacing of the rivets and sent it to him, and then he made me a set. It became so popular that seems like every restored or restomod TE27 has those covers now. Unfortunately, that guy Grant says he doesn't want to make them anymore because he is getting up in age and his hands are not as nimble. So I think one of the last ones went to JT.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I definitely enjoyed featuring that thing. So that's good. That's good at least.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool. Can we hear it?
Yeah, sure.
It's just like sucking in the air.
Yeah. So I love this. You know, it's funny because when I take this to shows, you have the newer car culture guys coming over and going, "Oh, nice ITBs." They're carburetors. They're side draft carburetors. ITBs are fuel injected. But yeah, the sound is amazing. I've also considered doing ITBs because they're just better for like canyon driving and stuff like that, and cold starts in the morning. But you can't beat the sound of the carburetor.
Yeah, the sound is so good. Oh my God, I love it. I love it so much. Can I hear it from the back here? It's not even that loud, but it just kind of has a good tone.
Yeah, so I purposely did that. I have two mufflers. I don't want to hear the exhaust. I know a lot of people spend a lot of money for their exhaust. Mine, I want the exhaust quiet. I want it all carbs. That's pretty cool too, because when you're driving, you want to be quiet. You don't have to always step on it.
Can we take it for a spin?
Sure.
I love this so much. It's just these little
here's the fan.
accessories. Oh, cool. Look at that thing go.
Yep.
That's how you stay cool in the summertime.
Yep.
Driving this thing.
Yeah, in traffic.
What's all this?
The original license plate.
Oh, that's the Japanese license
Yeah.
plate. Okay, that's interesting because a lot of people like to get fake Japanese license plates, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, this thing is just too cool. Time capsule. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, it needs alignment for now because I messed with the toe. So steering wheel's kind of crooked. But
It's kind of interesting because this is so different than JT's in that his is. I'm nothing wrong with loud cars. I love loud cars and things that are fully tuned up. His will make your ears bleed.
yeah.
And this, I can, like you said, you made it so you can actually hear the carbs.
Yeah.
So it's actually pretty cool, and it feels really tight. It feels good on the road.
Yeah, the problem with the loud exhaust is like when my wife and I do drive this and we're on the freeway, we're constantly yelling at each other. But this one right here, it allows you to be able to talk to the person and then get to your destination and not have your head all ringing.
Oh, that is amazing.
And of course, like all my cars, it has the Bosch Mercedes-Benz horn.
Oh, okay. Wow, that thing is so loud. That's really like, get out of my way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. I like it. I like it a lot. So these are actually becoming more and more rare, huh?
Yes, so even in Japan, if they find out that you're taking the car to the United States, they won't sell you the car.
Really?
Yeah, so you would have to find a broker that has an address in Japan so that he can buy it for you, and then you pay a broker's fee.
See, look at that. We get love from Subaru guys.
Yeah.
We get love from Vape Bros.
Yep.
All the bros.
Smiles per mile.
Yeah. So is this a 5-speed?
Yeah, it's a 5-speed.
Oh. I love that shift knob too. Is that original?
No, so it's an aftermarket. The original one, it's just wrapped in vinyl, black vinyl, and then it has the shift pattern. Yeah, this thing's geared really tall, so I just switched the gear. It's a I think it's 3.1, and I did it for freeway use so that it's not screaming when I'm driving it on the freeway.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the problems with a lot of these old school Japanese cars. Like, if you're just sitting there at 45 to 5,000 RPM all day, it's just it's a little rough.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with traffic, with modern traffic.
Your rally car weighs what, 1,500 pounds?
Yeah, 1525 with a full tank.
So how much does this weigh?
This one should be lighter since the rally car has a full cage.
Ah. So you could really tell the difference in weight with just one person?
Oh yeah. It's actually, it's a big difference driving this with another person sitting next to you and driving it by yourself. As you can see, the suspension is super stiff.
And also, these seats are really comfortable for what they are.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm sure you got them redone, right? Or you got the cushion redone?
No, everything has been redone. Even the frame of the seat had cracks in the springs, so those were all replaced, all welded. So these seats are fully restored so that it feels the same as brand new.
So this actually is my first time driving an old school Corolla. Has anyone else driven you in this car besides your wife?
No, my wife hasn't even driven this.
Oh no!
Give me the first.
I'm the worst. I'm the absolute worst. Don't worry, I'll be very careful because I love this thing so much. Oh, here we go.
Here are the carbs.
That down low sound is so good, and it's actually way louder on this side.
Yeah,
like
the carbs
so
are that
much
way.
louder.
See how the steering wheel dances a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the tires. It pulls it every which way. It's made for circuit.
Got it. Yeah. I couldn't imagine driving this like balls out on the track. I couldn't. It's like you would get sweaty.
Yeah,
just trying to keep it on.
Yeah,
even though, I mean, it doesn't have that much power, but it's so lightweight.
Yeah, it's 115 horsepower.
Okay, 115.
Yeah, 115, and this thing's really completely stock except for the headers. That's it. So this is how it feels like when you first bought the car back in the day.
I love it so much. I really like it.
So if you can see the difference between what we got here in the US and what the Japanese got, this was so much more fun than we ever got here.
Because in the US, what kind of motor was it?
It was the 3TC. It's still the same, 1.6 liter, but it was a single cam, dual. It was a 2-barrel downdraft carburetor. So this one gets a 4-barrel carburetor, and also.
Oh my God, that sound is so good.
Yeah.
It's really loud.
Yeah.
I mean, and those are stock.
Yeah, those are stock. Yeah, those are 40s. They're small. The ones that on my rally car, they're 48s, and they're actually bored out to a 50. So those are even louder.
Wow. I have so much respect for this car now, and I love the big steering wheel.
Yeah.
So is this actual wood?
No, so it's a laminate plastic also.
Could have fooled me.
Yeah, the only wood was actually from the 2000 GT because that one actually got the piano wood from Yamaha pianos.
Look at this thing. Well, you definitely popped my old school mango cherry here.
Yep, and you'll get to drive the green one, and you'll get to drive the 2000 GT when it's done.
All right, so yeah, we didn't even talk about that. All right, so in terms of like a Toyota guy, I thought I was a Toyota guy until I met Mike. Now I'm just a regular guy. The fact that you're restoring a 2000 GT, that's it. That's the top. That's the absolute top. There's no higher than that in terms of Japanese cars. I mean, how much did the last one sell for? Over $1 million?
Yeah, so the last RM auction was 1.1 million.
Okay, well, and that one wasn't fully restored.
No, it was a Survivor. They call it a Survivor.
So if it's fully restored, Concours, all approved by Toyota, the real deal, who knows what it could go for? I mean, I guess one can dream, right?
Yeah, so since that RM auction, the 2000 GT prices have come down a little, but I think this restoration will bring it back up to where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, well, because, and that's the thing is, who knows how many years down the line, but maybe at Pebble Beach, you know, we'll see a 2000 GT. I think that would be pretty cool.
I hope so.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, I think that's a wrap.